Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. So yeah, in this video I'm going to be talking about my top 15 favourite movies from the year 2020. Yeah, a year that a lot of us want to forget for very obvious reasons, but not getting into that. I'm going to talk about the movies that came out, the few movies that came out that we got that year, and I'm going to rank my personal favourite top 15. So as usual, whenever I do one of these lists, the movies I've chosen, again, are all in accordance with the release dates from IMDb. They all have 2020 against their name. And this is just my personal favourite list. Your list is going to be different. Please don't get offended by the order I've got these movies, or if your favourite movie didn't make the list. These are just mine, that I really enjoy. So, yeah, that being said, I'm going to kick it off with number 15. So coming in at number 15 for me, we have Palm Springs. Yeah, I thought this was a fun comedy. It's all about these two wedding guests who get stuck kind of in this Groundhog Day situation. They're repeating the same time over and over again. And it just made for a fun comedy. I thought the two leads were great fun to watch. It had some great little numbers in there. This little dance sequence that I thought was great, but yeah, it didn't do a whole lot for me, on with the finished package of the movie, but I did enjoy it. I did think, there's a lot of great supporting cast members of this movie, and yeah, it kind of just makes that top spot by that 15th place by default. It is a fun movie. I do enjoy it, but yeah, it was far from perfect for me. One that I don't rewatch very often, if that. But yeah, it just comes in at number 15 for me. So yeah, that's Palm Springs. So next up at number 14, we've got a movie that was recommended to me by my good friend Jason Brett. Yeah, this was just over the top silly fun, and that is Psycho Gorman. Yeah, this was kind of just like an adult version of Power Rangers. It was really silly, really over the top, real tongue-in-cheek kind of movie. It was self-aware, it knew what it was doing, and yeah, I just had fun with the movie. It was just sci-fi schlock, and yeah, I ate it up. I just had an absolute blast with it. Yeah, again, what it's doing well. It knows what it is. But yeah, there were just some movies that I enjoyed more from that year. But yeah, it's a fun time, not to be taken too seriously. So yeah, that's my number 14 pick, Psycho Gorman. So coming in at number 13 for me, we have the movie that actually won Best Picture this year, and it is Nomadland, starring Frances McDormand. Yeah, fantastic drama. It's all about this woman who loses everything. Her lifestyle has completely changed, and she's this nomad who's just doing these day-to-day jobs to get by. And yeah, it's just a fantastic drama, amazing performances in it. Frances McDormand steals it as she normally does in everything she's in. And yeah, that end speech in this movie, I just thought was absolutely fantastic. It was such a perfect way for this film to bow out and wrap up. I just really thought it was really well done. But yeah, really enjoyed this one. Again, the rewatch value for me isn't there, but it is still a well-made film. So yeah, that's my next pick, Nomadland. So coming in at number 12 for me, we've got the first of two Pixar movies. And this one, Onward. Yeah, this was just a fun fantasy movie. All of these mythical creatures, this mythical setting, following these two brothers who are trying to sort of resurrect their recently passed away father. And yeah, the two leads, voiced by Chris Pratt and Tom Holland, have great chemistry together. And I just thought this was a fun movie. Yeah, colourful, great characters. Yeah, just really enjoyed it on the whole. Not as good as my next pick, but yeah, I just thought this one was a real lot of fun. Very colourful film. So yeah, that is my next pick, coming in at number 12, Onward. So coming in at number 11, we've got my next pick, which is another Pixar movie that came out. and that is Soul. Yeah, again, enjoyed this one. It was a bit more of a serious movie, I think, than Onward was. But yeah, I enjoyed this one. I just thought it had a great main character who is this jazz musician, and this really important big opportunity has come his way, and sadly he finds himself stuck in between sort of the land in purgatory, pretty much. And yeah, it was just an interesting journey, really, really told in this creative way. And yeah, I just dug the look of the movie. I dug the movie's message. Really, really enjoyed this one. It was one of Pixar's better movies of recent times. And yeah, I just had a great time with it. So yeah, just missing out on the top 10, we've got Soul. So coming in at number 10 for me, we have Russell Crowe in Unhinged. Yeah, this is a movie with a very, very small and simple premise. It doesn't go too big. It's just someone being in the wrong place at the wrong time and rubbing the wrong person up the wrong way. Yeah, it's just Russell Crowe being absolutely, as the title suggests, unhinged, unpredictable, just a mental case who just absolutely loses his temper and will just do anything that comes his way because of what this person's done to him, as minute as it is. And yeah, he's just firing at all pistons. Absolutely insane. Like I said, the movie doesn't do anything special. It doesn't try and reinvent the wheel. It's just a fun time. It doesn't have this impactful, profound message to it at all. It's just an entertaining piece of fluff, and I just enjoyed it. So coming in at number 10, we have Unhinged. So coming in at number 9 for me, we have Freaky, starring Vince Vaughn. Yeah, again, similar to Unhinged, this doesn't have, a groundbreaking premise to it. It's a teenage girl who ends up swapping bodies with a deranged serial killer played by Vince Vaughn, and you can tell the two leads in this movie are just having an absolute ball with the material that they've got to sink their teeth into. The movie's grotesque and over the top with its violence, which I just absolutely love from this type of movie, and it just really, really delivers. It's a fun time. Like I said, there's no profound meaning to this movie, kind of like Unhinged. It just is what it is on the surface level, but it's very, very entertaining, and I just really, really enjoyed this one. It's going to be, if you've not seen it, check it out if you're a gorehound when it comes to movies. This one really, really delivers, and I just enjoyed it, and it was just a fun comedy horror entry to kickstart the 2020s, and I just, really, really found this one entertaining. So that's my next pick, Freaky. So coming in at number 8 for me, we have The Invisible Man, starring Elizabeth Moss. Yeah, really, really enjoyed this one. I just thought this was a great take on the Invisible Man story. Really, really enjoyed it. The praise I have to sort of give this movie is its techniques. It did this amazing thing where there are things going on in this film and you think, did I really just see that? Did that really just happen? And you question yourself and doubt yourself. And yeah, it's just got some really, really great tense sequences in it. The only issue I had with the movie is when I went to see this, the person I saw it with, I kind of whispered to them where I thought the movie was going to go and what the big reveal was, and I got it right. And yeah, that was the only thing that was a little bit predictable about the film, but still, nonetheless, I thought it had some great, jump scares in there that the movie didn't rely on. It had, like I said, some great techniques. There were moments that were absolutely shocking, and yeah, I just thought it was a great fun time of a movie. Really, really suspenseful stuff. So yeah, that's my next pick, The Invisible Man. So coming up at number 7, we've got Carey Mulligan in Promising Young Woman. This was just a great revenge thriller that I just really, really enjoyed. Carey Mulligan's character will just stop at nothing to sort of right the wrongs of the past in this movie without going into too much detail. But yeah, I just thought this was absolutely great. The only thing I didn't really like about it was the direction that the movie went to in its third act. Although it was satisfying, I just kind of wasn't 100% satisfied with it. I would have liked to have seen it do something just a little bit more, like I said, satisfying, because I wasn't 100% there. But yeah, nonetheless, the characters in this movie who should get their comeuppance do. And yeah, I thought she was great in the role as well. Yeah, just a really, really awesome movie. So coming up next, we have Promising Young Woman. So coming in at number 6 for me was a movie that I kind of saw at the return of cinema, as lockdown was being lifted in 2020. And I know this movie wasn't for everyone. A lot of people didn't really like it, and it is a movie from Christopher Nolan, and that is Tenet. Yeah, I am not Christopher Nolan's biggest fan. His movies, I think, are a little bit of a required taste for me. But of recent years, I think his last 2 films have probably been some of my favourites. But like I said, this movie, when I was watching reviews of this movie from other people on YouTube, this one didn't really strike the chord that I think they wanted it to. And I kind of got that, but for me, it was the other end of the spectrum. I really enjoyed it. I thought the cast was great. It won me over again with another performance from Robert Pattinson. And yeah, I just had a great time with that. I thought the effects in it were brilliant. All this, the action sequences in the third act were phenomenal. You see them play out and then they slightly rewind, and it was just mesmerizing to look at. And I thought, this was just, it was really nice for me to see a Christopher Nolan film and have a smile on my face. Because I just didn't get that with his last couple. But saying that, nonetheless, I had a great time with it. So yeah, that's my next pick, Tenet. So coming in at number 5 for me, we have Sonic the Hedgehog. The movie that kind of broke the curse over the video game movie. Although it's not perfect, I think this movie is very, very watchable. It's very, very entertaining. It's got some great characters in there. It was great to see Jim Carrey as the villain. And yeah, obviously this movie has, the massive controversy about the design of Sonic about it, which I'm glad that they went back and corrected, although there is some rumour that was a massive PR stunt. But yeah, really, really enjoyed this one. This was the last movie I saw at the cinema before lockdown and COVID kicked in as well. So it kind of holds that memory for me. But yeah, it's just a really, really entertaining movie. Really, really enjoy it. It's just, yeah, it oozes everything about Sonic as well, down to its look. And yeah, I just had a great time with this one. Really, really enjoyed it. So that is my number 5 pick, Sonic the Hedgehog. So coming in at number 4 for me, just missing out on the podium places, we have The Trial of the Chicago 7. I don't know what it is about this film. I'm not too familiar with what this movie is actually based on in terms of its story, but I love these courtroom dramas that have ensemble casts. Something about that type of genre of movie I absolutely really dig. And this one was no exception. I just absolutely loved it. I thought the acting was top notch. Like I said, the cast, absolutely phenomenal. Too many great names to mention. And I just love the setting. Really, really enjoyed everything that was on display in this movie. And that's why it's number 4 for me. For those reasons, I just absolutely loved it. So yeah, I can't really say much more about it than that. So coming in at number 4 for me, we have The Trial of the Chicago 7. So coming in at number 3 for me, we have a movie starring Mads Mikkelsen, and that is Another Round. Yeah, really, really good movie, this one. I think this was made by the same people who brought us The Hunt, and I absolutely love that film. It's my favourite foreign film. I just think it's so well done. And yeah, it was great to see Mads Mikkelsen in a very different yet similar type of movie. So follows him, who's a teacher, and his colleagues and they decide to use alcohol to try and enhance their performances. They just take enough alcohol to not, make them where they're just absolutely bladdered and drunk. Just enough to make them get to that point where they perform better. And it was just really, really interesting. The characters had such a great dynamic in this movie. The music's on point. The performances are great. And I just thought it was just such an all-round home run of a movie. So coming in at number 3 for me, we have Another Round. So coming in at number 2 for me, just missing out on the top spot, we have John Krasinski's A Quiet Place Part 2. I absolutely love the first film. I think it's great. I think it's one of the best movies from 2018. I was really intrigued to see the second one. And yeah, again, it kind of blew me away. John Krasinski just had this directorial and writing talent for me that kind of just came out of nowhere with the Quiet Place movies. Great, path that these characters go on. The introduction of Cillian Murphy was great. The way that this movie goes back as well to kind of how this whole bad situation happened, it was so tense, and I was just on the edge of my seat watching this film. I just thought it was absolutely phenomenal. It did everything I think that a sequel for that type of movie that A Quiet Place is should do. And I just thought it was absolutely great. Really, really enjoyed this one. Loved the third act of the movie as well. Really, really suspenseful stuff. And I just thought it was a great film. So coming in at number 2 for me, we have Quiet Place Part 2. So coming in at number 1 for me, we have The Father, starring Anthony Hopkins and Olivia Colman. Yeah, I went into this movie... I heard the praise about this film, and I kind of knew what it was about. Sort of about Anthony Hopkins, and he has dementia, Alzheimer's in this movie. And yeah, I was really intrigued to see what this movie would do. And the biggest testament I can give this movie is this movie puts you, the viewer, in the driving seat as someone who would have, Alzheimer's and dementia, and dealing with the day-to-day issues that horrible disease brings. And this movie really, really put you in that situation, and it was just riveting. I almost describe this movie as a horror movie in sheep's clothing because of how so well executed it is. It's frightening, and it's scary. The reality of this disease that it affects on these people. And yeah, it was just so well done as a film. It was just breathtaking. Performances in it were absolutely amazing. I thought Anthony Hopkins was top notch. The end of this movie is just absolutely heartbreaking and just tugs on the heartstrings. And I know a lot of people really relate to this film. And yeah, I just thought it's so well done. You're confused as the viewer for all the right reasons that this movie wants you to be confused for, because of what it's tackling and what it's talking about. And for that reason, it's just so well made, in my opinion. I just thought it was absolutely phenomenal, executed to a T. Performances in it were absolutely phenomenal. And yeah, by the end of the movie, everything kind of comes full circle. And yeah, I just thought it was just so brilliantly done. Fantastic film. Again, the rewatch value for this movie, obviously with what it deals with, isn't there, but I wouldn't change anything about it. It's just, yeah, it's just an amazingly executed film and so well made. I can't praise that side of the movie enough. So for that reason, it comes in at number 1 for me from 2020. So yeah, that is The Father. So yeah, those are all of my 15 favourite movies from the year 2020, guys. As always as well, I should have mentioned this at the beginning, I'm going to leave a full list of my honourable mentions in the description box down below as well. So yeah, going to leave the video there, guys, and say thanks very much for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.